A lovely good morning and welcome to the Camnet Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Patrick Soko, and later on I'll be joined by Miriam Kaimba. And today we have a fully packed program for you as usual. And to just get started, we just want to find out from you, our dear viewers, wherever you may be, so that you can share with us your vibes and whatever is happening in your localities this morning, and we'll be glad to hear from you. We want to also say hi to some of our frequent viewers who include Vincent Piri from Vubwi, as well as Majila from the sweetest town of Mazabuka. And Miriam Kaimba was visiting the sweetest town. I wonder why she did not meet Majila. They would have met and have, probably have dinner together so that they can catch up, because Majila always wishes us very well every time we come on the Camnet Breakfast Show. But before we go further into our program, let's just get started with the Health Corner with the doctors. Remember to keep it on Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the Health Corner here on the Breakfast Show. I am Dr. Nakubiana Mfaya. And so this week we are talking about fibroids. And yesterday we talked about what are fibroids. We defined what fibroids are. We say these are benign tumors that occur in the uterus. So benign tumors meaning that they are tumors but they are not cancerous. So these are growths that are found in the uterus or around the uterus. So today we want to understand what are some of the causes, or how do these fibroids come about. So it's not very well known exactly what happens or how these fibroids come about. Most of the scientists have failed to understand exactly how fibroids come about. But it has been found that there are some genetic compositions that certain people would have that would predispose them to having fibroids. And so if you have a family history, somebody in your family that has had fibroids, whether it's your parents or aunties that have had fibroids in the past, then you could also be at risk of having fibroids. So other things that increase your risk of having fibroids are your age. So mostly women who are between the ages of 40 and to 50 are the ones who usually get these fibroids. But also, even younger women who have just started their menstrual cycles, even as young as 20 years old, they might start having fibroids. So it just depends also if you have a family history, a strong family history of somebody who has had fibroids, you can easily get fibroids. The other thing that predisposes people to have these fibroids is their diet. So if you do not eat foods that are high in fiber, especially people who eat red meat. So red meat has been found that it's a very it's a very high risk for you to get fibroids. So people who eat a lot of red meat, that is beef, pork, and other red meats, they are at risk of having fibroids because
to the money market, so that we get to know how the kwacha is performing this morning as we make those important financial decisions of our lives. Now, the greatest fear continues to happen. Now we are seeing that one United States dollar is buying at 23 kwacha 04 ngwe and selling at 23 kwacha 49 ngwe against the 1 US dollar. So the Great British Pound is buying at 28 kwacha 73 ngwe and selling at 29 kwacha 30 ngwe. The Euro is buying at 25 kwacha 17 ngwe and selling at 25 kwacha 67 ngwe. The South African Rand is buying at 1 kwacha 25 ngwe. The South African rand is buying at 1.25 ingwe and selling at 1.27 ingwe. So those are your money market updated this morning, the 21st of November 2023 at 0715. So those are your money market, and you can see that the kwacha isn't stopping, and it has gone to 23, both sides, both buying and selling, and it shows how things are bad. But I can also attribute this to what transpired yesterday, where we saw some hesitancy pertaining to the to the Eurobond negotiations that the government is working on, the debt restructuring process. They had rejected the proposal that was made by the Zambian government, meaning the bond holders. However, we hope that they will finalize these discussions and make sure that they come up with a win-win situation that is equally going to benefit Zambia at the end of the day. We're just keeping our fingers crossed, hoping that things will be better. However, that sentiment has also led to that decline or depreciation in our currency because of investor confidence that in terms of what the sentiments people have about our economy. So that tends to reflect on how the currency is performing. As you can see, yesterday on the buying aspect it was on 22, but now today it is on 23, sad enough. And we continue to be optimistic that the financial institutions that we have in the country are putting in place modalities. By this, I mean the central bank, the Bank of Zambia, led by Denny Kalialia. I hope that they'll continue to put in place measures to just stabilize the local currency. If you see, we have been putting in place, injecting a lot of dollars into the economy to just see if they can stabilize the currency. However, this seems not to be working, because others have also argued that it's a temporal measure. Equally, the revision of the monetary policy is not as sustainable as it may be portrayed. However, now we are looking at another aspect that the Bank of Zambia tomorrow will be addressing the press pertaining to the performance of the economy, and we hope they'll indicate what measures have been put in place to just make sure that things get back to normal, and we can only hope for the better. The Minister of Finance also continues to pursue other measures such as ensuring fiscal discipline, especially in terms of financing our resources as a country. So we can only hope that these measures that they are implementing will bear fruits. Otherwise, if it does not work out, it continues to push pressure on the consumers, and that is not good for us as a country. So now, Miriam, let's also have a look at some of the stories that are making the headline. I did assure our viewers that I'll be joined by the lady herself, the lady Positivity herself, that we can have the conversation this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Sokoi. It's a positive Tuesday indeed. We keep it positive. On the Camnet TV show, it's now our slogan to ensure that we portray or we distribute that message of positivity to our audience out there, so that even as much as someone who might just tune into the Camnet TV breakfast show and they were feeling a bit hesitant and not in the mood, and that negative mind, they tap into our positivity and ensure that they keep themselves running and in check for the day. So we keep spreading the message of positivity to our audience. I think that is one thing that we are now known good for. Yeah.
Indeed. So what are some of the stories that are making the headlines this morning?
So just a reminder to our viewers before we look at some of the stories that made headlines in our news yesterday. We have now officially opened our phone lines. You can take part in our conversation this morning, where we are zooming in rather some of the stories that made headlines yesterday in our main news. And those watching us live on Facebook, you can also drop us a message. Let's get interacted. Let us know what is happening in your community, and what are some of those pressing issues that you would want your civic leaders to address. And we're moving forward, Patrick. We did see a story yesterday from Athias Kaputula, where street children and adults domiciled at Lusaka's Independence Avenue, Bama Road junction have shared chilling life experience that have led them to the street. Speaking in separate interview with Camnet News, they have many attributed being found on the street to lack of empowerment and foreseen circumstances. Let's get to look at that story. We'll continue with our conversation when we come back.
It is a sport which has increasingly been turned into home for street children and adults. From taking naps at Lusaka's government complex to the intersection of Independence Avenue and Bama roads, asking for arms, the area is bustling with these individuals, some with children on their backs. This reporter Monday visited the area to have first-hand stories from the individuals who have turned this sport into home and a workplace. Leader of the group is Michael Zulu. His alibi, he came from eastern province of Zambia and got stranded in the city, ending up here. Mr. Zulu, like all the rest, could not speak on camera.
Nabwera as a business. Nabwera kumaoda. So after nabwera kumaoda manje vija. Nabopeza kati nafika usiku pa station paneni nafikira wananse chandrama. Ona bopeza kati nilibe no coin.
Mr. Zulu says efforts to get help failed, but he's ready to go back home to his family and mother who looks up to him back in Eastern Province.
Kumunzi. Nasi ya family. Nasi ya wana. Nasi ya wakazi. Na ma parents balikuwa nene kuja. In fact na ma parents bachitira depend muliyo. Ningafune chechikuru ningafune chetandizo yakuti nibwereremo kumunzi.
For Nelia Nyirenda, she has been on the streets since 7 when both her parents died. Now with 2 children, she is still on as promises for empowerment never materialize.
So ngafune kwa bama ntanzi yako na mbugulisa kwa ntanzi kwa business. Nezogulisa kumanda batwa kanso. Ababa ntengera afa ntenga ndepena space yako.
Michael Mlenga is a child but well advanced in drug abuse. He admits it made him fail to stay at the child shelter and cries to go back home on the Copper Belt.
Narikara kukuru ba Jasper. Narikara kukuru ba Jasper kai awanandi. Kule narito mosana ka fighting. Kai ndo boxing. Na kado na de umama.
Mwanampo chibolia.
Fona shubanda kai ofufia yendo ngofuna ishire butokamani.
For advocates for child justice, ending the scourge of children living on the streets needs corrective action and full implementation of the Children's Code Act number 12 of 2022.
To include deliberate initiatives that actually involve parenting skills training that actually ensures that parents are better caregivers to these children and